Sergey Nikolayevich, here is the question that will be asked now. It turns out that it concerns a global number of people, young people. It concerns the realization of its purpose. A huge number of children, boys, girls are in a state of misunderstanding what is their purpose and how to find, so to speak, the realization of their knowledge and experience in life. What advice can you give them? The ancients spoke both above and below. The whole universe, any process in the universe, is a copy of the universe. What happens? In principle, everything goes according to the general schemes. Here I often give an example of a tree. Here is a tree, there is a stem cell, a twig cell, a leaf cell. What is the purpose of each of these cells? Each cell has its own purpose. The leaf cell works in one mode, the stem cell in another, the root cell in the third. They differ. But when we move away from the leaf, trunk and roots, we will see a single tree. So, what is the first purpose, the main purpose of any cell? To be a tree, to give energy, to develop, to take care of your fellows around. In other words, there is a hierarchy of goals. First you are a tree cell, then you are a trunk cell, then you are a cell of a certain area, and each segment works in its own way. It's the same with a person. What is the purpose of each person? First of all, the purpose of any person is to be happy. The concept of happiness is impossible without a feeling of love in the soul. The feeling of love in the soul comes, a real feeling of love, which is not subject to anything, is impossible without the concept of faith in God. It comes through the concept of love for God. The feeling that we are all one, that we have a Creator who created us, that He is invisible, His energy is present in everything, and in every person. And this feeling of love for God, it allows you to feel the love that is above all levels, and get true happiness. A cell of an organism is happy when it feels its unity, and works for the whole organism. This is her first right of existence. In the body, it is a cell of the body. Then it becomes aware of itself as a liver cell and works for the liver, also giving part of the energy. Then she feels like, let's say, some part of some fabric, and she works for this fabric, and then she works for herself. This is the scheme by which everything in nature develops. If a cell works only for itself, it becomes cancerous, the body destroys it. Therefore, everyone wants to arrange a personal life. Here is one who wants to become a prosecutor, another a lawyer, a third an artist, a fourth a manager. And everyone dreams about it, but not everyone succeeds. Why? Because if you, inside and out, only want to be rich, healthy, and have the position that will give you money, happiness and so on, this is the work of the cell for yourself. And from above, such a dream will be taken away from you. Therefore, first you need to work for the body. First of all, the main goal of any person is a feeling. It is the disclosure of all the love of God, the feeling of His divine self. The first purpose, the main purpose of any person is to realize, to develop the love of God, to increase the love in the soul. This is the first and most important thing. The second is to take care of the soul. First of all, the soul. What feelings do we have, as far as we can restrain our instincts, and take care of the soul in terms of morality, love, sacrifice, care, education, first of all, feelings, so we fulfill the second main purpose. But then we can talk about some personal aspects. We can talk about the development of our consciousness, our abilities, and what we strive for. If there is love in your soul, if you take care of your soul, then your dream begins to come true. In principle, it is very important to understand that the main dream is not the one that comes from the head. Imagine an organism. Everyone says, I don't want to be a rectal cell. Everyone wants to be a brain cell, it's better there. The body will not consist of brains alone, it will die. Therefore, each cell has a purpose, and happiness for each cell is to fulfill its purpose. We humans are the same cells. Each person has his own specific purpose. And for one, it is meant to be an astronaut. This is his happiness. For another, a manager. For a third, to become a rich man and promote the economy with money. The fourth one wants to be an artist. The fifth one just wants to work for show, because he has some kind of process inside, and he just doesn't want to work. It is better for him to meditate, to let go. The fourth one just wants to go somewhere. That is, we have happiness. The main thing is not to follow the stereotypes of happiness, because there are two kinds of happiness, in receiving and giving. There is happiness in immersion in human pleasure and happiness in detachment from them. In other words, all this is also happiness. Therefore, when a person does not make the purpose of life out of his head, imitating, but the neighbor is rich, so I want my child to be a lawyer or a prosecutor too. That's when the desire comes firm within, when our dream is encoded in the feelings. That's when it can be followed and it makes sense. If we take it out of our heads, then often such dreams do not come true. It is necessary not to imitate others with happiness, but ask yourself, what do I want? Where will I be happy? And after that, you need to give energy. Because the dream is not realized if there is no return of energy. A lot of people want to be happy. They want to achieve something, but at the same time, they are jealous. Envy kills energy. Or they get discouraged, do not believe in themselves, it kills energy. Or just lazy, it also kills energy. Remember what Christ said, believe. What is faith? This is the absence of doubt about your goal. Believe me, you will achieve everything. Knock, and they create for you. Don't bury talent in the ground. In other words, Christ constantly repeated that it is necessary to give energy. It is impossible to doubt, it is impossible to be afraid, it is impossible not to believe in yourself. Don't be envious or judgmental. Don't be jealous of the rich. If you want to be rich, become rich. But the fact is that wealth is not only money. Wealth, first of all, is the wealth of the soul, it is our feelings. A rich person can be a person who has a good family. This is wealth, one of the highest riches. This is communication, these are the children you love. There is wealth, a passion for creativity. There is wealth in travel. We just have Western stereotypes that wealth is only money, and happiness is being a manager. So, you need to ask your soul, what does it want? And after that, it strives to give energy. Strive once, 2, 3, 100, 200, and then something will turn out. Many young people say, there is no job that suits me, I will not work. Get a job at anyone, feed yourself, give as much strength as possible. And while you're working on it, look for a new one. Luck goes to the one who gives. The one who wants to receive, it is unfortunate in life. Therefore, for young people, it is necessary, once again, it is necessary first of all. What is it? Who achieves a lot in life? A person who has high energy. Without energy, you will achieve nothing. But the energy is high for someone who is harmonious inside, then morally treats God and people. This inner harmony and morality comes from the concept of love. If there is no love in your soul, you will start making serious mistakes, and then your energy will fall. Look at the world around you. Chronic fatigue syndrome. Young people now often do not want and cannot do anything. Why? Because the internal energy, it goes away. There is no harmony of the world. The model of the world is wrong. The modern Western model is flawed. She preaches to the cells, take everything for yourself. Forget that you are a liver cell. Forget about the body at all. Take everything for yourself, live as you want. This is the principle of the cancer cell. Modern capitalist ideology is the cancer cell principle. Therefore, it inevitably leads not only to a moral crisis, but also to an economic and political one. That's why there is infertility. That's why families are breaking up. That's why homosexuality is everywhere now. This is the wrong model of the world. Because this model of the world is, in fact, atheistic. Of course, if you go to religion now, religion is weak, and people stop believing in God in Europe and in America. Or do they believe purely superficially? What remains? Science. And how can science give a correct picture of the world? Science, in fact, preaches paganism. She says, the body is primary. Everything comes from the body. So man, if this is a body, what should we take care of? About the body, about the stomach. And now the stomach is placed on pedestals, everyone prays for it. But this is exactly how people behaved in Sodom and Gomorrah, when the needs of the body were put first. Further moral decay, further death. That's what we're going to do now. If young people want to survive, they, of course, should probably be guided by the correct model of the world. And the right model of the world is faith, its love, its morality, and then everything else. How to destroy your evil and defeat your earthly weaknesses. Evil should not be killed. It is indestructible because evil is a lack of love. How we want to kill evil, because we personify it. This is the biggest one. Another myth of millennia. It is necessary to kill, to exterminate evil. It is necessary to eradicate the devil, catch, unscrew the horns and hooves. And then everyone will be happy. This is a trend. Here a person dives into cold water, it's evil. He caught a cold in the kidneys, sat in the water for half an hour. He caught a cold. After the bath, I dived, this is good. So where is the evil, where is the good? It all depends on the ratio, on the quantity, and so on. Here's a man offended, he says. This is evil, and then it turned out that a person offended him, and saved his life with it. A man broke his leg, says, what kind of good is this? And he didn't get on the plane that crashed, and everyone died. So it turned out that what we consider to be evil, and may turn out to be good. Not now, but tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. Therefore, the concept of good and evil is present on the external level. On the subtle plane, good and evil are practically indistinguishable, because we do not know how this will affect the consequences. But, as a rule, if we talk more or less about the real categories of good and evil, if you do not have enough love, you start worshipping animal instincts, and you start stealing, being greedy, envious, worshipping pleasures, and then you will steal, rob, kill, debauch. And this is a concrete evil. Why? Because your soul has turned away from God and started worshipping instincts. And in this regard, good is love, and evil is a lack of good, and a lack of good, and a departure from love. Therefore, it is not necessary to eradicate evil. It is necessary to increase love in the soul. And then the evil will go away by itself. Here, by the way, another woman asked a good question. She says, starting from the new year, there will be paid medicine and paid education. Well, the scheme is quite simple. The current consumer system is doomed to destroy our soul for the sake of profit. Therefore, what was charitable, this is art, this is medicine, this education, will be exterminated for the sake of money. This is a natural process. If the body and money come first for us, we are doomed to exterminate it. And the woman says, I have 3 children, I will not be able to earn money. My children will be left without education. What should I do? What I want to say about this. 2,000 years ago, there was one man. He had 12 friends, but not ocean. His name was Jesus Christ. And imagine, only one was educated. They have done a lot in their lives. Judas was educated, he could read and write. From what we conclude, education is not the main thing in life. The main education is the education of the soul. It is love and morality. Therefore, even if the child is infringed in this, there is no need to grieve. Let the energy go to the development of the soul. There is a disease in which a person is talented, undoubtedly, but cannot read and write. But Sergius of Radonez could not really speak at all, let alone read and write, and then something changed, and he became a great man. Have you heard that Tom Cruise can't sign his contracts? He still reads syllables by syllables. He can't read. But nevertheless, the guy somehow had a life at the very least. So, it turns out that our logic of our consciousness is only part of our education. Our true education is the soul, it is our subconscious. Therefore, and Leonardo da Vinci, do you know why he became the way he became? Because he was an illegitimate child, and in Italy an illegitimate child was forbidden to study Latin, Greek. And he said it, and without this, a person cannot be admitted to knowledge. He cannot extract knowledge. Leonardo da Vinci said, but since I am not given knowledge, I will get it myself. And he began to explore the world, observe, draw conclusions. And that's what happened as a result. Therefore, first of all, when you understand, when you are afraid of a problem, you are already closing opportunities for yourself. When you understand that first of all development is the soul, it's the subconscious, it's your feelings, then a person without any education can achieve a lot. Please note that 80% of the brilliant artists did not have a special education. They created with their soul.